September 20th, 2025. Yesterday, like I said, in 18, 19, 20, and on, they said there was a guy from Maslin that was helping them get away with it. They even said he was from the prosecutor's office. Okay? And he was helping the cartel get away with crimes. People would complain about him everywhere. What is that guy's problem in Maslin? Helping people get away with crimes. What is wrong with that one guy in the prosecutor's office? Helping people get away with crimes. And they talked about him everywhere, everywhere, about the guy in Maslin that was helping people get away with crimes and the cartel. Yesterday, I had a lady come up and said everybody, on January 25th, 2019, they did say it was from the prosecutor's office in Maslin. He was helping them get away with crimes. Oh, this is funny. Oh, they talk about him 18, 19 everywhere. That he was helping the cartel. Okay. Yesterday, I had to go get an ultrasound in my heart. I have what they call the PAVR, the pulmonary anonymous vein return. On my left side of my heart, don't pull enough blood. And so I have to get an ultrasound on my heart every year because, they have to make sure my heart's still in good condition. I'm very fortunate to be alive with everything that I lived through. And then you talk about half my heart don't pull enough blood. It's a birth defect. My mother should have had fixed when I was born. But they just keep an eye on it for safety right now. Yesterday, it doesn't mean that's not worrisome, because it is, when you have to go do it and then uncomfortable. But yesterday at Oroville Hospital, I went to leave. Some guy was there and I wouldn't even turn around. He said, "Oh my God, that's Karen." We all know we're not allowed to say a word to Karen. We're not allowed to say a word to her. We are just supposed to handle what's going on and take care of these people for what they're doing. No one's allowed to say a word to her what's going on. And some guy in my office was supposed to be helping them. Him and his men. I'll find out. Where were you 7 years ago? Thousands had died. And that bastard was helping them. You need to realize it. I don't know who he is, but they talked about him everywhere. You need to find out who was in the Tuscarawas courthouse September 10th, 25. Let's stop the video. Who talked to the judge over the restraining orders that she didn't issue? When I walked by, she said they were down here, saying they're all getting even with her. She's the biggest liar, nothing credible, and that office paid thousands of dollars. And didn't find anything. And we're all supposed to get even with her. You didn't see him around me, you had your eyes shut or you're blind. Even Dixie seen him in mass, and the white hair guy with his hair parted on the side. And the other men that were other places were telling people they were FBI handlers. And they're the ones that were bringing the Christmas skull in. Oh, let's see, they were even at Faith Family Church. With the ones that said they were for Judge Peters. And we're from Florida. They talk about the king from Texas in Maslin and his men. So if you didn't see him around me, you're a fucking liar. So whoever was down there talking to that corrupt judge that thinks that everyone should get even with someone, you're not allowed to get even with someone. Especially law enforcement. And another thing, I never did lie. I am very credible. You can ask that agent. I called the FBI hotline. They walked in his office. They were stalking me in my home. And they were having me drugged for a fake confession and beaten, raped, and human trafficked, and admitted they were trying to have me murdered because some idiot called me a faker. They confessed, and he wanted the drug connections. And he left me in hell. Well, he got him. He needs to rip that judge a new one. Calling me not credible? Try to get his big drug bust released? I don't think so. Because when I go up in Akron, people break all over me. Karen's Will's here. Karen around the house. The FBI informant's here. We all know she's here. She's part of that nationwide human trafficking scam. We all know it. She got left in the middle of the cartels because they sold a login. I go in nursing homes. Big hit. They sold it like a reality show. Where they announced they were selling it for $25 a pop. Made millions off of me being terrorized. Now, someone needs to take care of that corrupt judge. Never lied. And how many cartels I help you get? And so she puts her foot in her mouth and realizes how big a fool she is. I want to know who was down there lying to her. Oh, and then as I walk by, there's a guy behind an office door. I had all the rights to do it to her. I had every right to know what I was up against. The fool that's afraid of a 51-year-old fat woman in a skirt thinks he has to take her out. Because she's a threat. What would I do? Bake you cookies? As long as you didn't touch my kids. You touch my kids, the mama bear comes out. That's with every mother. You don't touch your kid, someone's kids. You think you're going to threaten them, that's a different thing. But as me personally, I may not have it in me to hurt someone else, but I can tell you off till your ears ring. I have no problem doing that. All right. Now, they said, I think it was the 18th, September 18th of this year, 2025, Walmart West Test. People were talking. It was a guy in his office down at that courthouse telling people not to believe her. So it's either Melissa's divorce attorney that was trying to make sure Melissa got everything, or the guy in the Maslin prosecutor's office that was helping him get away with crimes, aiding and abetting. Do you know I went on Google? Prosecutors can't be in your home. They can't set up on cameras either. They go to jail. Do you know they can't insult an FBI informant either? They can't call me not credible. They can't call me a liar. They can never insult me ever. Because of the integrity of the case is aiding and abetting crimes. They get prosecuted 20 years. That's how much you can't. Yeah. Just like the police can't insult me either. They can't call me a liar. They can't call me not credible. Gets a case thrown out. Where the cartel's been running around, we're going to find her not credible. She's a liar. They're telling blah, 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 blah. And we're going to get her case thrown out. Well, they told me in 18 they're going to do it. They're actually doing it now. They want that even Agent John not found credible. They want every drug dealer released because she's the biggest liar and nothing's credible. So every drug dealer, they had no right to be around her. They got it off of a fraud case. We want them released. And where they said they're going to sue the government for endless amount of money, millions of dollars for false arrest. And they want Agent John arrested because he just opened it to steal my money. He doesn't have the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. He can't withhold your money, can't make up restrictions. It can't be in a court order. Even an FBI agent said that. And if I didn't get my money, he did take it. He can't get away with not paying somebody to work for him. Exactly, he's for getting them information only. You can't ask someone not to stay quiet. It's not background money. And then he's already told you, they've already been in his office. They know the FBI is involved, so why would I stay quiet? Like Walter Moss said, the only reason he'd want you to stay quiet is for them to get away with it. That he was helping them. And he can't even ask you. It was illegal for him to ask you. He's only a hired police officer, and police can't tell you can't say anything. It takes a judge. In a jury trial only. First Amendment, please know that. Just like nobody can be in your home but police and agencies under a threat of life with statements with a court order without a conflict of interest. There's nothing else. Because you have a right to privacy, right to remain quiet, and a right to attorney. It's also considered pharmaceutical torture if they drug you. No one's allowed to drug you for a fake confession, and no coerced confession is admissible. Nor does a police or an agent have the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. If the FBI could have put a gag order on anybody, they would have dropped. They're just police officers. They're federal police officers. When you look at them as nothing but a cop, police officers don't have the authority to tell anybody they can't say anything. It takes a judge in a jury trial only. Criminal attorney. A federal agent even said that. Stark County Prosecutor's Office. Please. Now I want you to think about that. They've already walked in his office. He went and told hundreds. He admits on a record line. Everybody knows. So why would you? He's supposed to have been like the Hartville police said. They were just supposed to be acting that way to fool the drug dealers. They thought he was going to pay me when they got all those drug dealers. So we're that crooked judge that they can give us restraining orders, which now we got to move out of our nice mobile home, and we will be moving out of Tuscarawas County. We'll be moving in the next few months. It's a shame. I love my home. It's pretty. I love people thing. But you know one thing I found out about Ravenna? Don't matter how much you love someone. If you're not safe there, don't live there. It's just a shame. It's a shame. We don't cause anybody any trouble. We have no problem. But it's a shame. But you know what? It's the sickness of them seeing that whole big fiasco of them trying to call orphans. When Carl married Brenda, those people, grown adults, acting like fools in that courtroom, their father was still alive. They knew him. Brenda had just divorced Carl, their dad 6 months before she met Carl. Dad was a 26-year-old woman. Married with her own child. She had her father her whole life. So did Bob and Veronica. They were teenagers, and he was still alive, and he lived in the area. They probably still seen him. You don't even know if Brendan, that guy, came up with a con to con Carl, thinking he could get money out of his farm and everything else. He could have even stayed at his farm when Carl was at a long distance truck driver. Get a free ride off of him. After what I lived through, I don't put anything past anyone. And those people and their entitlement and their Mr. Blue's children, and Deb was his grown child. The other ones were almost grown, they were teenagers. And he was still very alive in this area. They probably just walked over and seen him. You know that, right? Where they were crying orphan. Their father was alive in the area. Knew him. Had a relationship with him. Was a con. Act. They want that man's farm and the $1 million that he doesn't have. They made up in his mind. You know what? And it makes me mad they're getting to his daughter, Audrey, where I told him it's a $1 million lie theory. There's not no $1 million. He got 160, he got 180, they overpaid him. We're still in that negative 66,000. We have to pay back to the oil company. Oh, she told me last night she didn't blame me. Well, I can get a readout. It was a lot higher. I talked to a guy from the oil company. He wouldn't even buy that well because it's a negative. He said they should have never paid him that much. It'd be like it paid off. Because you got to think the oil, well, it's not on his property. He just has property in that area where, like in Perry, there's some kind of gas well, and everybody for miles around gets a $30 check. His other well that sits, it's not his well. See, that's where they keep saying it's his. They sit on other people's properties. Because you're in that area, you get a little check. He only got $833. Averages out over 3 or 4 months. $800. It's not $1 million. Got $2,800. What was it for 3 months, 4 months? Like that. And see, that's the whole thing. The whole thing. It's $1 million lie. Brenda's kids took all his money. And they're in there screaming, calling me a gold digger. He had ragged shoes on when I met him. Not a good coat, not a hat. Good hat, not even decent clothing. I bought it for him. We were friends. And that crooked judge saying those people, well, just because she said they could be around him, don't mean we have to let them. He's scared to death of them. They only want, his one son, Rick, has threatened to bash our head and has something set up young, start everything signed over to him. That was part of my FBI case. They were threatening me with that. But they said Youngstown. That they actually are doing it in Youngstown. And well, the FBI recorded Rick saying that. So they do need to find out if it is actually happening or it's just a threat that people are using on people. Because the people were threatening me that. They just didn't say where. That they had a dirty attorney, a dirty doctor to write up you're incompetent or insane, steal everything you got. Well, his son said that to him, but he had it set up in Youngstown. And that they were going to bash our skulls in and kidnap us. That's not funny. I already have a dent in my head that should have killed me. I lived through hell. If you want, I've been raped, I've been tortured, I've been human trafficked. I have a dent in my head where I was stabbed in the neck, bashed in the back of the head, 12/21/18. Being raped and left for dead, July to September 19, tortured by a fake FBI agent. Mm. So, yeah, they need a Agent John, I like my money. You don't have the authority. Where people walk around, oh, Agent John set it up so he wouldn't have to pay her. It's illegal to work people without pay. It's illegal. And you know, it was illegal. Like the FBI agent told Grant, like the Stark County prosecutors told me, like a criminal attorney told me, and the police. You don't have the authority to ask somebody to stay quiet. You're only a higher police officer. It takes a judge and a jury trial only. Duh. Can't be in the court order, no judge can sign it. It's illegal. And then you already told on me to hundreds and I confessed you had everybody knew and were in your office. And you made fun of me. See, that's where they're trying to say she's nothing but a liar, nothing incredible. We're going to have everybody throw out. He had no right opening that case. Well, honey, listen to the recorded line. For I met with that family in my office and all those church people. Where were they? In the FBI office. And I know they're trying to kill you. He says, strangest lie. What kind of case am I in? A threat and attempt to lie case. For an FBI informant. That's where Walter Moss from the Stark County Prosecutor's Office. You're in a threat and attempt to lie case. They even admitted to a federal agent they were trying to kill me because some idiot called me a faker 15 years before. It was a medication error. And how many times did they say it? They made fun of me for that guy, Pete. On a recorded line, he had it documented in his own voice. They were in an FBI office and confessing to him. Like my money, Agent John. I need it. I earned it. And when you get in torture, your head's not bashed in. You weren't human trafficked. You weren't drugged till you lost 70 pounds. Your stomach didn't shift up underneath your ribs. Your rib cage isn't damaged from being beat. Your shoulder's not tore up. I was 51 years old and you let him terrorize me like that. And all I did is call the FBI for help. Well, you got surveillance on. I earned that money 1,000,000 times over. And if you want, like they said in Walmart West Task, should be September 18th, 25. Was a man from that office in that courthouse. Some guy said, I know it's not funny. They're the ones telling people they're the Portage County Sheriffs. See, that's where every time I find out where these people are, I report them. Because they're impersonating law enforcement. But I'll tell you what, that prosecutor thing in Maslin, everyone talked about him. And some guy in the prosecutor's office in Maslin was helping the cartel and was trying to run the FBI case so they wouldn't get arrested. See, that's against the law for him to ever insult me. Or the integrity of my case. He goes to jail 20 years. Obstruction of justice. Tampering with a witness. See, that's where the FBI needs to look at the Louisville place and correct the situation there too. It's illegal for a police officer to call an FBI informant not credible or a liar. It throws out the case. And that's where the cartel can get a loophole and they can walk. And then they can sue the FBI. Agent John, you need to do some butt kicking around here. You need to get a backbone to stand up to these people. Start acting like a man, mister. Thousands went to jail off of this. Most people get letter accreditations. I'm sure you probably got an award off of my work. I'm not even going to say what that may show. Disgusting. Letting a woman live through that and then taking rewards or bonuses and not even pay the person for their time. And allowing them to live in hell in a concentration camp set up by the cartel while you got surveillance on all of them and went out and arrested them and then didn't pay your informant. That makes you disgusting. I need my money and I would appreciate it. They could never attach it. It's right on Google. What they're doing, and people realized it. The other day, they're trying to get the cartel released. You better stand up for me, and you better stand up for the case. The government will have a very hard time with you otherwise. Because we got thousands of this. Thousands. And you will not insult what I went through. You will not even belittle it. To save my family. Like Maslin Police told people. She almost died to save everyone, and she deserves a hell of a lot more respect than what people give her. That's not the only police officers that speak highly of me. The ones that work my case brag all over me like I'm gold. She almost died to save everyone. How dare you ever insult her? She deserves a hell of a lot more respect than what people give her. I like my money, John. You better stand up for your case. Because I want you arrested. Where they said they were setting you up to be arrested. They're going to go after you for a fraud case, if you know. Thousands of cartels will be released back into the United States, and tens of thousands of people die again. You better get some integrity, man. You will not insult me. You will not insult any victim of being human trafficked, or the ones that were lost to them, and their poor grieving families. I've had to hold or console people that were lost by the people that hurt me and were taken. And I try to get their families justice every day. I should not be the only one rallying for justice. I'm going to